Yo, Sproutah here. Today I'm sharing to you, from worst to best, all the characters in Dandy's world as of October of 2025. Keep in mind that 4 people did this tier list and a pro player revised it, so the rankings here are trying to be as accurate as possible on team runs. We can have mistakes, so don't take these words as final. Anyways, let's start. A surprise of absolutely nobody, Shrimpo is last on F tier. I don't think I need to give any justification about this placement since Shrimpo is just Shrimpo, so let's just skip right to the next toon. Scraps is next. She hasn't changed her position at all in 10 months. She is still useless even with the buffs they gave to her, because the main issues with Scraps are still present. Using any other competent toon will give better results than Scraps. And at the end of the F tier is Toodles. There's no point at using Toodles. She doesn't offer any value whatsoever, and you are better choosing any other toon. You will do better, trust us. And this is the tier list with the characters we've ranked so far. I think that Scraps and Toodles could perfectly swap places, and I would be fine with that. Let's just hop to C tier. First on D tier is Poppy. Poppy is not that great, in fact, she is the worst starter. Not by much, but yeah, she is. Box 10 will be always more versatile, since he doesn't have to take a hit for his passive in order to activate. Great for starters, but for experienced players, not so much. And when I said that Poppy was the worst starter but not by much, I literally meant it, since Eggsun is next. Eggsun just has a really weak passive in my opinion. There are some strats if there is a lobby full of Eggsuns, but they're not worth it to try or even mention. Next up is Roger, and I know he is one of the best characters on the game when you are starting. But once you have all research, hell nah are you choosing Roger since his stats are not worth it and the passive is useless if you have research on everyone. Even though his stats managed to put him at the 33rd spot. And then we have Cole that she just kinda exists, doesn't do much for sure. D tier is fine for her, I guess. The last character until the first controversial ranking arrives. Rebecca is kinda meh. Her passive is great, but with starter stats it doesn't combine very well. Wasted potential. And yeah, on the 30th spot we have our first main, Babette, and oh boy, we are not seeing another main again in a long time. The thing with Babette is that she has a useless passive that its radius is a joke, and the effect is really bad too, and the active is straight up bad. On top of that, her stats are awful and she only has 2 hearts. They need to rework her ASAP. And like how we did on the F tier, here is the tier list so far. First up on C tier is Connie. Connie is a great toon if you want to survive, but on an organized run she is so slow that she can't get to machines before other extractors. Tegan is a great character, but only on solo runs. In team runs Tegan is not that worth it even with the self-heal, and you are better off choosing other toons, but she is not bad at any means, the others are just better. Next up is Sylvester. If this was just my opinion he would have been tier A, but my other mates told me that C tier was better, so C tier it is. Even though he is the box demon on machines, you all gotta remember that he has 1-star speed and has the same problems as Connie, but is slightly more useful. Talking about box demons, box 10 is next. He is a good extractor but is just dependent on his team. There are better options, but if you are a starter and only have him, it's good enough. And then we have the twins. The fast form of them is really useful, but the extractor form is F tier since they are really vulnerable, and it's not like Sylvester that compensates with awesome skill check too. Because of the inconsistency, they have to be C tier. Flutter is just outclassed by everyone, there's no point on using her, and if you just like to dash, Rudy exists, and he is better than her because his dash works in more situations and has a lower cooldown. And then there is Finn that honestly, he is good. But since Shelly exists and does literally the same, I don't think there's a point on picking him if you have Shelly. But he is not bad. Rudy is the last character on C tier, and honestly, he has a lot of potential with the right trinkets. But there are already toons that do the same or even better with way less effort, so he is a C. But don't underestimate him. This is the tier list so far. The first toon on B tier is Brightnay. Kinda like Tegan, she is awesome on solo runs, but since V is better at highlighting things, you should never bring Brightnay in order to do so, and the stealth can be awful for the team in exchange of a toon that only extracts a little bit faster than default. Next is Sproutah, and I'm not lying when I say that I don't even see this character. Not even in the lobby. She extracts like Finn, and her ability can help a lot toons that struggle because of their skill check. I feel like 20th spot is good for her. Now we are on the better than average zone, and Gigi is the first on that category. She is a really good toon, but she is insanely selfish, making her not valuable on team play. Next up is Goob, and this hurts me as a Goob main myself, but it is what it is. He used to be insanely good at distracting, but someone else got added that took his spot mercilessly. Glisten is a good extractor. Even though you are not using him when you have a main extractor, he is good for new players. Also, the TP is nice if you get in sight of the Twisteds. Then there's Blot, that you can use him as a distractor or as a support if the distractor is struggling. Since Blot Jr. is OP, Blot gets the 16th spot. Junior incoming. Last toon on B tier is Flight. Flight's a great support with his gusts, and you should not sleep on him, since he can add tons of value if used correctly. Even though Tisha will always be slightly better than him. And you already know it, here's the tier list so far. First on the A tier is Cosmo, and honestly he is pretty damn good. But his stats holds him back a little bit. Just be careful when to heal and you should be fine. And next is Tisha. As long as you are careful, her speed boost can be one of the best boosts in the game, but if Tisha risks it, it can be detrimental. With some game sense, it shouldn't be a big issue knowing when and when not to give boost. Next is Ginger, that essentially is just a better Cosmo. Even though the heal has a slower cooldown, Ginger's stats are better and the healing range honestly makes up for the cooldown. On 11th place, so close to make it to the top 10, we have Coco. Coco's bonbons are OP and are a really good way to support your team, especially distractors or yourself. Up to this point, the characters are really similar when it comes to how good they are. And on the 10th spot, we have Yatta. Yatta's stats and passive are OP, that's just it. Getting a box of chocolates for free easily is not normal, since it's one of the best items on the entire game. Louis is at the end of the A tier, and sadly, if this video was made 3 weeks ago, he would have been S tier, but because of the new competence and since he has to lose hearts to be fast, he's not being nearly as used. But he is still good, so it's an A tier. Well, Astro is first on the S tier. Something that is bothering us about Astro is that technically he is the best character on the entire game because there are floors that, without an Astro, are impossible. But those situations are so uncommon, and in order for them to be even possible, you need to be at an insanely high floor. Because all of this, we've decided to put him as the worst S tier. Then there's Bassie. Bassie is an insanely good support. She can make the distractors carry 7 heals instead of 3. But sadly, that's just it. Her extraction is not good and she can't distract easily. The thing that she can do though is making treadmill machines, and she's really good at them. Now it's turn for Pebble, that is on the placement 6. 7 could been right too. Now seriously, Pebble is one of the most important toons on the entire game, not because of anything on particular, just because he can distract. As well as Louis, now there's a new toon that does what he can do but better, although in some situations Pebble is still better. Shelly is and will always be one of the best toons on the entire game, but since the Halloween update released, she has lost some of her power since now there's a toon that is better than her at extracting by a large margin. The extraction speed boost is really nice and can make her teammates be gods at extracting. Aside from that, there's nothing much to tell about Shelly. Now about V. You should only have one V at your run. The reason why V is here is because her abilities, since they are the most OP thing on the entire game right now. She is not a good extractor since her survivability is cooked, don't pick her for that. And the same logic applies to Sprout, but 10 times more exaggerated. You are never, and when I say never, is never going to have more than one Sprout in your run, since if you do have two, you are actively hurting your run since the Sprouts won't be able to even heal properly in the first place. You are better of having a Ginger and a Sprout. And please, if you are Sprout, don't heal the Ginger. It's not worth it, use your tapes on something more productive. The second best toon is Eclipse. Maybe it came as a surprise to you, but right now Eclipse is just the best toon when it comes to distract. She has 4 speed, but it compensates with her passive that makes her absolutely OP on blackouts, plus the stealth. She only has a drawback, and it is that she can't distract Twisted Pebble easily, but you can ask the Bassie to distract that. Overall, Eclipse is broken, and if you don't have her, purchase her while you can. And the best toon on Dandy's World as of October of 2025 is no other than Gordy. Gordy extracts insanely fast and has a lot of speed, making him insane. His passive ability is really good, but his active lacks a lot. Even with a bad ability, he is still the best character in the game, and it's not even close. Since he has low stealth, you will need to bring a Shelly with you in order to do machines next to Broken Elevator, but if you play carefully, he is insane. And this is the final tier list. Hope you guys liked it. If you disagree with something, type it respectfully on the comments box. Bye to everyone.